What's up, everybody? John Arapoli here with My MMA News, and today's guest is coming off a big win at UFC Vegas 42. I'm talking to Cortney Casey, who defeated Liana Jojua by unanimous decision. Cortney, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate the time, and congratulations on the win.
No, thank you for having me.
So before we get into the actual X's and O's of this fight, I want to actually go back in time here just a little bit because I interviewed you, I believe it was over the summer, as you were preparing for this fight, and the fight actually got canceled. I know Liana had some visa issues there. So what kind of, was the mindset like when that fight got canceled? Like, did you have to stop training camp and then re-prepare for, or did kind of camp just keep running right through? You kind of stayed active? What was the approach in the lead-up?
We got to stay a little bit busy. So we were told we could keep the same opponent and we would just wait for the visa to get cleared, which means it could take 2 weeks, it could take a couple months, and we'll just add you guys to a card when that occurs. And I agreed to that. We agreed to that. So we kind of had to stay ready just in case she got cleared in 2 weeks. But after that, they found out, hey, we're clearing you. She got cleared. We're going to book you guys on this card now. Instead of trying to fill us in, they booked us on a card. So we had another 6 weeks. So I was able to take a few weeks off because I knew I had 6 weeks, and we just get back. So we had just a couple, weeks to relax and then right back into camp.
And how's that work weight cut wise? I know some fighters start cutting naturally as they go throughout camp. Some don't have too big of a weight cut. I was just curious with the fight getting delayed, how that affected your weight cut.
Yeah, well, that's why we were happy that the UFC put us on a card instead of just quickly putting us in there and feeling where it would be a full camp, short notice camp, if that makes sense. Because we didn't know when we were going to fight. It could be 2-3 weeks. So I was happy that Mick said, hey, we're going to put you on this card. You guys have X amount of weeks to retrain, hey, reset kind of thing. They gave us almost another camp, which was nice.
All right, so now let's get into the actual breakdown of this fight. You had a big reach advantage, and you set the tone right from the get-go with that long reach. You were piecing her apart on the feet. Just how important was it to get off to that fast of a start in the fight?
Well, I'm normally do really well in the first rounds. I have, I think, 3 first-round finishes. I normally don't lose the first round. So, that pace is normal for me. We just wanted to make sure that we're sticking to the game plan off the rip. We're going to push the pace, but we're going to be smart about it just because we are so long. And we knew she was going to be, a little heavier and a little slower on her feet. So we really wanted to, not only utilize my length, but also my speed.
And now I want to get your thoughts on the second round there, too. So I know we talked about the first round, how you were picking her apart on the feet. The second round, this is the way I thought of it anyways. I was watching it, but obviously you could give me your breakdown of it. But I felt like Liana was trying to come at you a little bit more, that she was trying to pick up the pace because she obviously lost that first round. But every time she tried stepping in at you, you were right there with a lot of combinations. Give us the breakdown of that round and kind of how you saw it going down.
Oh, man. I probably have to watch it. Second round, I just my hand was already pretty kind of hurt, so we had already practiced a lot of kicks. So I was like, now that I found my range, I can start using my kicks to keep her out even further. But sometimes you got to counter with right hands, and they were there all night. So we kept, we just stuck to the game plan. At the end of the day, we stuck to the game plan. We stayed long, first with the jab, utilizing the jab, then hitting her with the 2. And then after that, we started adding leg kicks and stuff into it as needed.
Yeah, I know you mentioned your hand too, and I'm sure as you've been talking with your hands, people have noticed a brace on it. Can you tell us exactly what's going on with that? I know there's obviously a lot of different things medically. There's protocols. You're still getting things looked at. So what can you tell us exactly with your hand?
It's not the first time I've hurt my hand, so I already know what the protocol is. We put the brace on. I want to go back to the doctors. Already dealt with it. So it was easy. We just put the brace on, and I was able to enjoy some time with my son. And we'll go get an X-ray tonight with him, and then we'll figure out where we go from there.
And I know you mentioned there that you hurt it in the first round. Well, you kept throwing it the whole entire fight. How difficult was that?
Yeah, it's not the first time it's happened. So, might as well throw it. If it's going to land, throw it. It's already, it is what it is. It's, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, you had one hell of a poker face there, because as I was watching it, I would have never guessed you broke your hand. You didn't wince or anything. Like, so how hard was it kind of keeping composed and not letting your opponent know, hey, my hand's hurt?
I've been dealing with it for so long. My coaches know it. I guarantee you, all my coaches knew when I heard it. I'm pretty sure some of the other fans. I mean, if you watch the fight, I'm sure you could. I kept in as much as I could, but at the end of the day, it hurts. But yeah, I'm sure. I know 100% my coaches know when I heard it, and then yeah.
And now I want to get actually back in, I guess, to the breakdown here a little bit. And we're talking with your hand and everything. So what's the mindset like, I guess, going into that final round, right? You're up 2-0. You know that your hand's hurting. How do you kind of approach that? Do you say, okay, my hand's hurting, I'm up 2-0, let's just kind of, not necessarily coast, you can't really ever coast a fight, but just kind of keep doing what you're doing, just don't do anything stupid to get hurt or anything like that? Or do you say, hey, screw it, I don't care what the scorecards say, I'm just going to keep going out there, I'm going to keep fighting, I'm going to keep looking for a finish, something like that?
I had for me, I always try to go for the finish, but I had two very different coaching I guess, ideas on that last round. I had David Mashad and Casey Kenny telling me go for the finish, because I heard her, close to the end of the third. And then I had Drakkar telling me, no, stay composed. We won this fight. And at that moment, I kind of circled, I engaged a little bit, but then I kind of knew I was at that mark, that 1 minute mark. I had to have been in it if that's where they were, where they were splitting. So I just made sure I still hit her when I could hit her, but also was being smart at the same time.
And then after the great win there, you get to go on a little vacation. Now you just got back to Arizona. Tell everybody about your vacation, your travelings. You went to Disneyland out in California, right?
It was good. I was able to take King to California. I had been promising him after the fight we'd go on a plane, because he's been wanting to go on a plane. And then Dre was able to take him for his one-on-one time with him to go see some friends in California as well for Halloween. So he definitely, it takes a toll on all of us, and he goes to all the practices and stuff like that. So we just want to make sure that, he understands, why we're doing it. And at the end of the day, we love him and we want to spend time with him too. And so Disneyland was the best place to go.
And do you ever sit back and just kind of take all these things in as they happen? Because obviously, it's great. You go out, you get a win doing what you love, fighting in the UFC. Then afterwards, you get to go on a little vacation and spend some time with the family. Do you kind of ever sit back and say, man, things are really great in life?
Yeah, you always enjoy those little moments, but it's our job. Parents do it all the time. I've just been lucky enough to be able to take King with me, so he sees the sacrifices that we do. So I think it sits in a little bit more because he understands what we worked for. So I think it kind of is a learning experience for him as well.
And finally here, one last thing. What's the game plan here for 2022? I know we talked in a previous interview about how you had a lot of close fights, a lot of real close losses. You end this year out on a win. Great way to kind of build momentum into 2022. What's the mindset here going forward? What's the game plan for next year?
Hoping we can get another fight in. If not, probably not by the end of the year, obviously, but at the beginning of the year, we'll for sure, early March, April, maybe, we really just got to figure out where the hand's at and then go from there.
And now finally, as we roll out here, go ahead, tell everybody where to find you out on social media. If you have management, sponsors, teammates, coaches, friends, family, whoever you want to give a shout out to, please feel free to do so. The floor is yours.
Zebra Mats, of course, they're always a huge supporter of mine. 8-Man Strong, X Endurance Supplements, Active Health, the MMA Lab, Drakkar, my family, and then social media, Instagram. You guys can check me out there, Cast Iron Casey. And other than that, that's it.
All right, guys, that was Cortney Casey. Cortney, really appreciate the time here today, and congratulations again on that win, and Just to remind everybody out there, too, please keep checking out these interviews at MyMMANews.com. Check out all of our great content. Also, if you like today's interview, make sure you give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet. And if you want to find me on Instagram or Twitter, I'm at John Arapoli. We'll see you later, everybody.